Okay, it's recording now. I forgot that I started the video with a mobile phone and then I joined with the iPad. So I had to go start again with the mobile phone, start recording from there before I came here. So that's by the way, let's proceed. So like I was saying, I am going to break it down to the simplest understanding so that nobody um gets to complain again, please. Okay, so can you see my can you
This one
see
is
my
not
screen?
visible.
It's not showing.
Can anyone see the screen? Please drop a comment on the chat.
You can't. Somebody wants to talk. Let me
Okay.
unmute somebody else to ask if they can see my screen. The person I unmuted now, can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see your screen now. It must be my network. Sorry.
Alright, no problem. So let's proceed. Now, I said the reason why I did not talk so much about that basic market structure yesterday is because, as you can see, I assume that I've already learned the basic market structure and you understand it, but it seems like I'll be going back to it brief of it before I proceed. Now, Stephen, maybe he did not tell you, or maybe you did not remember, the one leg break of structure in the 4 hours time frame is considered as an external structure. Okay, it is that particular structure that qualifies and determines the overall trend of the market. Okay, so now, like we have this one here is going to be the external structure, and every other small break of structure you see inside is called an internal structure, as simply the break of structure that we talked about yesterday. The internal structures are those break of structures we talked about yesterday. And some people were asking, how do we know the most recent leg? It's very simple. Let us assume that this thing is not here for now, and what we have is, if we go to the lower, I told you you might not see clearly from the higher time frame, but if you go to the lower time frame, we have um little break of structures like this. Can you all hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right.
Can you hear me? I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you. It's fine. So yeah, I was saying that every other structure you find inside these 4 hours, every other structure you find inside this 4 hour structure here is called an internal structure. Okay, it is called an internal structure. Let me just fast forward to this place. Now, this is where price currently is. Now, the most recent structure becomes the last break of structure you see internally. Okay. Now the first one becomes what? It is called an inducement. What is an inducement? Trap. I said it before. The first structure is a trap. Trap. Okay. Why the second one is where you should take a trade from. But if you should take from the trap needs to be taken away first. That is why the trap cannot be a change of character, because the trap needs to be taken away. Everything inside the one layer is called an internal structure, and the 4 hour structure on its own is called an external structure. Let us proceed. Let's use for example, okay, this is week 75. Let's use for example, let's go to the 4 hours. When you're talking about 4 hours, use 4 hours to show 4 hours. We're talking about the lower time frame, which is trying to mark out your internals. You use the lower time frame to mark out your internals. Do not mark out your internals from your 4 hours time frame. Okay, don't mark out your internals from the 4 hour time frame. Mark it out from the time frame that correspond to it. So let us proceed. So before you analyze every time, mark out your 4 hour structure. Now let's use for example, if you're talking about a break of structure here now, you would simply say that this point here, okay, this place here is a point where price broke a swing high, this high. Okay, so every other thing that is found inside this place is called an internal. But you do not have to mark out this internal from this time frame. You simply go down to the time frame where you are going to take your entry to mark it out. Because you cannot tell me that you'll be so perfect to draw out those little break or structures from here. You can't do it very well. So since you have gotten this external, this movement here is an external movement. Since you have gotten this, it's left for you now. That's the price is on here. It's left for you now to go to the lower time frame to check where price currently is, to know the recent internal break of structure. Now we go to the 30 minutes or 1 hour, because the corresponding time frame for 4 hour structure, if you're marking your external from 4 hours, you have to mark out your internal from either the 30 minutes or the 1 hour time frame. Okay, it's like saying a corresponding time frame, like time frame correlation. Okay, That's one thing about this derive. For those that will be trading synthetic, you have to deal with this. Most especially, what's the name? Trying to get a top-down structure is really difficult over here. All right, good and fine. We have gotten what we wanted. Now you can see that we came to the lower time frame, and we could now see this other break of structures clearly. Okay, we can now see the other one. Now some people were also asking about a structure that could not break the high if the break of week can be used. No, it cannot be used. Now, for a point to be called an external, though I have not taught you structural liquidity and the rest, but for a point to be called an external, it needs to have three or more internals inside of it. How do I mean? For example, that thing I drew like this, okay, on that 4 hours. For this thing to be considered as an external, number one quality is that it needs to have at least three minor internals break of structure inside of it in that lower time frame. When you go there, three or more. Okay, you need to have three or more. Let's check this one. One. Oh, this one is not counted. This low, which of them? So this guy is not fit to be an external, despite the we got it from the 4 hours. So we have to check the next external because it is the one that fits the qualification that can be used and called a change of character in case it is taken out. So yeah, the one that fits is this one. We don't even have to go far. You can see there are a lot of it here. And you can see that. You don't even have to go to the other time frame. So this is where the change of character occurred. So this is our external, valid external. This did not fit in because why? It does not have three or more internals inside of it. This one has it. Now, if price creates three or more internals inside of it, until a new external is created, every other internals that will be created till a new external is created. Let's say all of these internals that were created here before this point was taken out, it stopped here. Now till a new external has been created, every other internals that follow suit will be classified under this word. Like all these ones now are inside this one. So assuming that this one created, good and fine, but it did not. This is how all of them will be until a new external has been created. Okay, the change of character occurred here. Now let's go to today's topic, which is order flow. What is order flow? Order flow is simply price movement in a particular direction without an interference or interruption. Order flow is simply price movement in a particular direction without an interference or interruption. Now, what do I mean? I told you before that to get an interruption in a particular trend internally, it needs to be what? Two lows taken out, fitting the characteristics, especially the second low. Then for the one low. Now, internally, it is just two lows that need to be taken out. But externally, it is just one low that needs to be taken out to confirm a change of character. Yesterday, I made mention that that low internally is not called shock or change of character. And I said that I will be mentioning what it is called as time goes on. Now, when the second low is taken out, it is not called change of character. It could be seen as a disruption of the ongoing order flow. Why? Because the definition of order flow I gave you is what? Is simply price movement in a particular direction without an interference or interruption. So the moment this guy is taking an interruption in this uptrend that is supposed to be just higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. The moment this guy is taken out, there is an interruption. If it was just this first guy here, this guy here, then there won't be any interruption. Okay, there won't be any interruption. But the moment it is the second guy, then there is a disruption, an interruption, or an interference of the internal order flow. But if it's for the 4 hours time frame, and price takes out this guy, it is called a change of character for the higher time frame, or change of character for the higher time frame. Or that myself again. Order flow is simply price moving in a particular direction without an interference or interruption. We expect that for advanced market structure, price move in twos. Two is one. Two is one. This guy and this guy makes this guy invalid. 1, 2 makes this guy invalid. 1, 2, most recent 2 makes the order invalid. A new break of structure is created, makes the orders invalid. Why? Because the rule of order flow states that if a low, if the disruption of order flow occurs, which is this one, because this is second break of structure, 1, 2. If a disruption of an internal order flow occurs, price tends to use structure as liquidity. As liquidity. What is this liquidity? We're not in that topic yet, but liquidity is money. It is money. It's like saying take from Peter to pay Paul. That is liquidity. So if price takes out a disruption, the other internals turns to liquidity. Okay, now if price takes out the change of character in the higher time frame order flow, the other guys also turns to liquidity, but there is a name of liquidity it is called when we get to other that. But for now, once a low is being taken out, once the second low is being taken out, price tends to do what? Use the rest lows as liquidity. Now, what do I mean? Now let's use this guy as an example for now. Got taken out. You can see that price did not buy again. Despite that, what other breakout structures were around here. I don't know why the wife is not showing this. Why did not buy? It kept selling. That's the time where you look for internal sales. Why? Because there is an internal disruption. We are no longer. That's why you can see that higher time frame is bullish, lower time frame is bearish. What does that signify? It is just telling you that what from the external, price has not created a change of character yet, but from the internal, price has done what created an internal disruption of the order flow. So internally, we are selling, but to get where? To the external. Now, for the order flow, the external will determine if or not. So we have this first law as inducement liquidity trap, and we have the second law as the disruption law, the law that qualifies an interference in the internal trend. But that does not mean that the whole structure will be bearish. No, this place has not been taken out. It is the higher time frame change of character that determines the main trend. So that will be all for today. In the next class, please do well to watch the video. If you watch the video, I do not understand, attend the next class. It's still going to be the yesterday topic. And the next class is topic again for a better and broader understanding. So for those that wrote order flow, price movement in a particular direction without an interference or interruption, needs to continue going. It's not like the basic market structure that it needs to just be moving higher highs and higher lows. No, this one it can move like this and buy continues until the second guy is taken out. Can move like this, buy, continue until the second guy here is taken out. Then we can start selling till we get to the external low. How do you do your questions? I think he mutes or mute people. So just few questions before we go. So you can unmute them to ask their question. For the questions we can't treat today, kindly ask them by our usual schedule time for question. Thank you. Am I the one to unmute them or use Sparrow? I think it's having a network issue. It's maybe let me just unmute the few persons that I can see. How many hands are up? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, let's start from CEO Champions. Let me hear you, sir. Good evening, and proceed to your question briefly. Kindly do not raise up your hands if you don't have a question to ask.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Proceed.
Good evening. Thank you for the class. According to the example you make mention about on the higher time frame where price take two higher low. Like you give example of a V25S. So
Okay,
that
okay.
yesterday when I study the chart at V25S, but in a case like that, so I had to cut the entry like to catch the sell. So that's my concern because Uncle Steven make mention of when to cash an entry like we use our FIB Fenerbahce retracement on the I to use our premium to
People have
sell.
a little problem. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Please, can you ask question with what I have taught and leave entry for now? You're looking for how
Okay,
to
okay,
catch the entry. Godwin.
okay, okay.
Hello, Godwin. Can I hear you? Are you there? Please don't, Godwin. Are you there? Can you hear me? He doesn't want to speak.
So can
Ola
I,
Pips, you can speak. Yeah, sure, sure.
okay, what are the qualifications we need to see before we can call the recent low and
And
inducement?
internal.
Because
Okay.
you say that if the internal.
Yeah, we'll get into that. I have not made mention of it yet. I know.
Okay.
Sure. Larry, please do not raise up your hands to speak if you don't have a question. Ron Jerry,
Abigail.
yeah. Good day to you. Go on.
My question, please, can you go back to the chat? Your live
Okay, sir.
chat, yes, because my network, okay. On today's topic, I wish you could just run it back a bit, just run through it a bit. That's what I mean, because I didn't get the latter part of it.
Hello, sir. You have to watch the recorded video. We are taking questions based on those that probably attended the class on time. Do well to watch the recorded video, or please join the next class. This same topic will be taught afresh again in the next class, or the revision class. Thank you. So we can attend to people. Please, who as a question, those that actually came early, those that came late, please watch the video. If you can't watch the video, wait for the next class. The two topics that have been treated will be visited again from the beginning. Good day, madam. Please go on with your question. The people that are raising up their hands, I'm unmuting them. They are not talking. Cat doctor, can I hear you, please?
Good evening. Can you hear me, ma? Hello, good evening, Abigail. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, okay. Thank you for the class once again. Okay, my question is this: um, market structure and order flow, are they kind of the same?
Market structure or what?
Market structure and order flow. Are they related? Like, are they the same?
Order flow is price movement in a particular trend, yeah?
Is that the same with market structure? Price movement too.
Taking out swing points. Higher highs
Taking
and
us
higher previous swing point, creating strong and weak points. Strong low, weak high, strong high, weak low. For those that are complaining they
that
can't join,
structure.
there is no population in this class. People are just 372. Yeah. So what population is restricting them from joining? It's probably their network. Please relate with them. Yesterday we
Okay.
had over how many people? Sure. Do you have another question? Let me proceed to the next person.
Okay. I wanted to see something, ma, please. Not done yet.
Okay.
It's about the diagram.
Okay.
So I would suggest maybe next time you do, or maybe draw the diagram before sharing this thing, because it's kind of scattered. It will be hard for us to understand it.
Scattered how?
See this one now.
Are you just joining? I use this thing to explain something, not like I just drew it and then I was illustrating something. So do you want to screenshot it?
No.
So how scattered it? Are you just joining? Be honest with yourself.
Of course, I've been here since the class started. I'm not just joining. I will
So
revisit it. So if I don't,
how does it look scattered? Each diagram you see here is an explanation to something. I can't be doing it on a straight line now. I just in no order. I was just drawing it.
okay. Thank you.
The next person I omitted, please, once I omit you, you can speak. If you're not talking, mute yourself. Thank you.
Good evening,
Yeah, so
Sabi.
my question is good evening. So my question is so you said like in the higher time frame. So in the lower time frame now, when it comes to the first break of structure, that's to the downside.
Okay.
You said we should not consider that one as change of character yet. So my
Yes.
question is, so what should we be looking at after the
I
first
said
break of character to the downside?
we'll get into that. If you see, I have not said it. Anything purposely I have not made mention of means that it's not yet time to talk about that. Okay. Because of the terms I might use yet. That's why. I've omitted
Okay.
a lot of people. Just please give me
Good
an
evening, Sabi.
Good evening, Sabige. Good evening, Sabige.
please let the
So
lady speak.
I want to ask I want to ask a question regarding the external and internal because I'm a bit confused. So is it that we are looking for internal and the external is on the higher time frame, or how? Can you maybe a little
The
clarify
external
that?
is in the higher time frame, while the internals are simply those minor small. Okay, let me say I'm telling a layman.
Can you
It is
explain with the chat?
simply, if you're not the one talking, just omit yourself now. I omitted all of you so that you can ask the question once one person finished.
Good evening,
Good
Sabige.
evening, Abigail. Please,
Let me
can
Can I go
you
answer
ahead
the
to ask my
question.
illustrate
question?
on the chart?
Let me
Can you
answer
help
the
us?
oh, God. Let me answer the person that asked question, please. Now, The externals are gotten from the higher time frame, while the internals are gotten from the lower time frame. Why? Because the internal is the time frame where you will take your entry from. Okay, you are not taking your entry from the higher time frame, except prices are the external. So which means that price will be going to the external after the internals have been cleared out. So the internals are simply break of structures inside the external. Everybody cannot ask question today. If you cannot ask question in the live class, your question will definitely be answered. You know the scheduled time for question. Thank you. Let me take 2 more
Hello.
questions and we are done. Good
Good evening,
evening.
Please, I
Sabi.
just want to ask.
Good evening.
Sabi, can you hear me?
Good evening.
Good evening, Sabi.
Hello, good
Hello,
evening,
good
Sabi.
evening.
Good evening, Sabi. Can you hear me?
When an order flow is invalid.
When an order flow is
Yeah, my
invalid.
question is, I have an observation, please. Hello.
Your question is you have an observation or you have an observation. An observation is not a question.
No, like, I want to ask a question. I want to ask a question, please.
Okay.
Now, please, the thing is this here. Is it possible that when I'm talking about the higher time frame, you are very specific that okay, H4, and we are talking about
So I think you're having a network problem. I cannot hear you
Hello.
clearly.
Hello,
Please,
good
hello.
evening. Can you
Hello.
hear
Can
me?
you, can
I
you,
want to talk about the pattern. Can you hear me?
hello.
I want
Please,
to ask
Please,
for
the
I had a
next
question
Same
for
the
you.
next
question.
question, please calm down. Oh my god. The next question should be dropped by
and so persons
Can I talk
can
about the
feel
please.
you are
pattern?
The
stopping
Please,
their
next
I have a
question
question,
activity.
should
please.
be, oh my god.
It's
You
my
are
turn.
stopping